Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a woman smiling while she's hurting deep inside? Have you ever sat in a room with someone who looks perfectly okay on the outside, but if you could hear her soul, it's crying out? That's the kind of woman I want to talk about today. There's a woman out there who's been quietly going through pain, no spotlight, no applause, just pure endurance, just strong faith, and maybe, just maybe, that woman is you. This isn't just another message, it's confirmation. Because while the world may have missed you, God never did. Have you ever stepped into a room full of people and still felt completely alone? Not because there's no one around, but because no one truly sees you. They notice your job, your hair nicely done, your perfect lipstick, maybe even your smile. But they don't see what's underneath. They don't notice that behind every polite nod is a silent scream from your soul. Behind every "I'm okay" is a heart nearly at its breaking point, one more push away from collapsing. And yet somehow you hold it all together. You cry when no one is around. You suffer quietly, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to carry the weight and not let the world watch you fall apart. You've taught yourself how to dry your tears in the dark and put on your brave face before the world wakes up. You've been everyone's support while silently sinking beneath the surface. But just because nobody heard you doesn't mean God didn't. He saw every tear that slipped out as you laid in bed staring at the ceiling, asking yourself if this is it, if this is all your life will ever be. He listened to the prayers you couldn't even speak because your heart was too broken. He heard your silence, and in that silence, he was already at work. People tend to think that if you're not crying out, if you're not talking about your struggle, then you must not be going through anything. But suffering in silence, that's a special kind of pain. It's the pain that shapes character. It's the type of hurt that God doesn't overlook. He studies it. He leans in close to it. He starts building something from it. Because there's a difference between being hidden and being forgotten. And hear me, woman, you were never forgotten. The very silence you endured became the loudest cry in heaven. When you didn't have the words, God understood the pain in your heart. When you couldn't pray, the Holy Spirit stepped in and prayed for you. And when you were too exhausted to keep fighting, angels came around you, not to take the pain away, but to protect the purpose inside you through it. Some people may have thought your quiet meant you were weak, that you were shy, easy to break. But God saw what no one else did. He saw the strength it took to keep going when no one cheered you on, when no one applauded, when no one even knew what you were battling. There were days you still showed up to work, to your family, to life, with your heart in pieces. And yet you gave your best. You still smiled. You still helped others. You still prayed for people, even while your own spirit was bleeding. And the beautiful part, God kept track of every single moment. He remembered the times you stayed loyal to people who never stood up for you. He remembered when you fought for your loved ones while no one fought for you. He saw when you kept your integrity while others tried to ruin your name. He noticed when you showed up for a life that didn't seem to be showing up for you. Silent pain teaches a woman things others never learn. It teaches her to listen to God when everything is quiet. It teaches her to trust Him without proof. It teaches her to win battles that nobody knows she's fighting, and to still walk with grace, with strength, and with a smile. It reveals her true self. Because when a woman quietly suffers, something inside her starts to speak louder. Her faith, her instincts, her wisdom, her fire. That silence becomes the place where God meets her, not with noise, but with understanding. Not with a crowd, but with clear direction. And maybe right now you're wondering, when is it going to be my turn? You're watching others get blessed, promoted, praised, and you're thinking, God, did you forget about me? But here's what you don't see. While they've been climbing ladders built by people, God's been building you. Quietly, privately, not for popularity, but for purpose. Because when God blesses a woman who has suffered silently, He doesn't do it halfway. He blesses her boldly. He blesses her in a way that no one can deny. He blesses her so powerfully that the silence she once lived in becomes the very platform He uses to lift her. So don't confuse your quiet season with being abandoned. It's not that God disappeared. It's that He's getting ready to show something through you that could only be created in the quiet. He needed you to go through the quiet so you could hear Him clearly. He needed you in the valley so you wouldn't forget the mountaintop when you got there. He needed to develop something in your heart, not just your status. If you've been silently suffering, this is your sign, not just to keep holding on, but to get prepared. Because heaven has heard you, and blessings, they don't always knock. Sometimes they come pouring in all at once. And when they do, that same silence that tried to bury you will be the background to your breakthrough. What if I told you that everything you'd gone through, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the nights you cried yourself to sleep, was never meant to destroy you, but to shape you? That the moments you thought were your lowest were actually the starting point of something holy. Because what the world calls a setback, what people call suffering, God often calls a setup. If you've been struggling quietly, barely making it through, then let me tell you, you're closer to your breakthrough than you know. There's something powerful that happens in the spiritual realm when a woman goes through pain that nobody else sees. Pain that doesn't come with loud cries but hides behind quiet breaths. She doesn't talk about it. She doesn't post it online. She carries it silently. And that kind of pain doesn't disappear, it transforms. God never wastes pain, not even a little. What you thought was just delay was really God developing you. Every season of hardship has lessons planted in it. And those lessons, they become your tools for the next chapter of your life. You can't skip that part. You can't skip the shaping, the refining, the removing of things that no longer serve you. It's not punishment, it's preparation. And preparation is always part of God's promise. Think about diamonds. How are they made? Under pressure. Think about gold. How is it purified? Through fire. Purpose? It's born in pain. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind you battle alone in your room at night. The kind that makes you question your value, your future, whether anyone sees you. But God sees you. And more than that, He's using it. You were never meant to stay in the pain, but you were meant to be shaped by it. Because there's a kind of strength you don't gain when things are easy. There's a kind of wisdom you don't find in comfort. And there's a kind of faith you only discover when God is the only one left to lean on. That's why the pain matters. That's why it wasn't for nothing. One day you'll look back and see clearly how the pain forced you to stop and listen to God. How the losses showed you what's truly important. How the people who left made space for your peace. You'll understand that some things that felt like the end were actually God rescuing you. Because sometimes He doesn't calm the storm. He teaches you how to walk through it. Sometimes He lets the tears fall, not to hurt you, but to clean off everything you were never supposed to carry. I know this is hard to hear when you're still in it, when you're still holding the broken pieces, still praying, still waiting, still asking, why is this taking so long? But listen closely. Delay is not denial. God hasn't forgotten you. He's getting something ready that you're going to need later. You think you're just trying to get by, but God is doing more. He's stretching your faith. He's growing your purpose. He's building your strength. Because what's coming next needs a version of you that can handle blessings without pride. It needs a woman who stays steady under pressure, who doesn't break when life gets hard, who doesn't give up just because things get quiet. That woman, she's rising. From the ashes of everything that tried to break her, she's been refined, rooted, and restored. Because God is not just setting you up for a comeback, He's preparing you for a testimony so powerful that it'll break chains for generations. The same story that almost ended you, it's going to set someone else free. Your pain wasn't your end. It was the beginning of your real purpose. What looked like silence was actually God setting the stage for something undeniable. And when people ask, how did you make it through that? You'll only need one word, God. Because only He can turn deep pain into wide purpose. Only He can turn endless tears into unstoppable breakthroughs. Only He can take a woman who suffered quietly and bless her so loud that the whole world hears. So don't hate the pain. Don't be bitter about the process. Because even if you don't see it yet, you're being prepared for something greater. Something that's not just for you, but for everyone who will be healed because you didn't give up. Hold on. You're not just surviving, you're becoming. Waiting, that's often the hardest part of this journey. Waiting for something your heart deeply believes in, even when your eyes see absolutely nothing. But that's what separates hope from doubt. Doubt wants visible proof. Hope trusts the process. Hope whispers, even if I don't see it yet, I still believe it. And woman, if you've been walking through a season where you've done everything you know to do, you've stayed true, you've been kind, you've worked tirelessly, you kept praying, and still haven't seen your breakthrough, don't for a moment think that God has forgotten you. This isn't punishment. It's preparation. Sometimes the waiting is meant to grow your faith, not deny your blessing. Sometimes God holds it back to protect you because you don't just want what you're asking for. You want it in the right moment, with the right people, and in the right season. A blessing given too early can feel like a burden. And God loves you too much to hand you something you're not quite ready to handle. So He waits. Not because He's cruel, not because He's far away, but because He's thoughtful. And maybe right now it doesn't add up. Maybe you're looking at your situation wondering, why her and not me? Why them now and I'm still waiting? But just because someone else is getting their turn doesn't mean yours has been taken away. God isn't running low on miracles. He's not rationing out blessings like there might not be enough left for you. Nope. He's behind the curtain, arranging a blessing that's got your name on it, something shaped for your story, for your scars, and for your strength. That's why delays can be so tricky. Because if you're not careful, you'll start to believe it's never going to happen. You might mistake God's quietness for a no, when really He's just saying not yet. And not yet is a sacred space. It's where your character gets built. It's where your spiritual strength grows. It's where you realize that God's presence isn't proven by fast answers, but by steady trust. You don't need a sign to keep believing. You just need to remember who gave the promise in the first place. God's record is perfect. He didn't carry you through all that pain just to drop you now. He didn't pour strength into your soul just to waste it. He didn't refine you through fire just to see you fall apart. You're not being punished, you're being made ready. Think back to all the moments you wanted to give up but didn't. The times you wept but still moved forward. The times you gave even when you had nothing left. Heaven saw every bit of that. And at the right time, home, God's time. Those efforts will turn into rewards. Some blessings take longer because they're bigger. Some doors take time to open because what's behind them is more than you ever imagined. Some promises take a winding road because God is building in you the capacity to handle them well. And when it finally happens, when the breakthrough shows up, when the prayer is answered, when the moment comes, It'll be so perfectly timed, so clearly God, that you'll understand the wait, you'll thank Him for the no that was really a not yet, you'll praise Him for the quiet that was really protection, you'll realize the delay wasn't a rejection, it was growth. So don't quit while you're waiting. Don't let the ticking clock fool you into thinking the promise has expired. God doesn't work like people do, He doesn't forget, and He never fails. If He said it, He'll make it happen. If He promised it, He'll bring it to life. And when He does, it won't feel forced or rushed. It will be just right. That's why you keep going. That's why you keep praying. That's why you keep preparing, even when nothing seems to be changing. Because God isn't late, He's careful. And your blessing, it's not denied, it's just getting ready to show up at the perfect time. Sometimes the biggest blessing God gives a woman isn't something He adds to her life, but someone He removes from it. At first, it feels like being abandoned, like rejection, like the people you leaned on the most disappeared when you needed them the most. And it stings. You cry about it, you question yourself, you wonder what you did wrong, what you could have changed. But later, you'll look back and realize what felt like the biggest heartbreak was really the start of divine redirection. When people walk away, it's easy to feel like you're being left behind, but sometimes God has to clear the space before He steps in. Sometimes He has to remove the noise so you can hear His voice. Not everyone who started with you is meant to stay. Not everyone can handle the version of you that God is shaping next. There's something powerful about a season of separation. When friends grow apart, when relationships collapse, when you feel alone in places where you used to feel seen, it doesn't feel holy. It feels painful. But that's the beginning of the shift. That's when you realize the people who walked away weren't meant to carry the weight of your purpose. They were assigned to a part of your journey, not the entire destination. God is never surprised by who exits your life. He saw it coming before the relationship even began. He knew who would hurt you. He knew who would let you down. And He also knew who you were holding on to out of fear, habit, or comfort. But He loves you too much to let you stay tied to someone who isn't part of the future He's preparing for you. When you grow, not everyone will grow with you. When you heal, not everyone will respect your boundaries. And when God is ready to lift you higher, He often starts by setting you apart, not to hurt you, but to protect what He's growing in you. There are places He wants to take you that require full attention, full belief, and zero distractions. So when people begin fading away, instead of asking, why did they leave? Start asking God, what are you making room for? For every person who exits, there's a purpose. For every goodbye, there's a bigger hello coming. But you can't accept what's next if your hands are still holding on to what's gone. And God knows that. You might feel left out, but you are not left behind. When people step back, God steps in. And when He steps in, He brings peace, He brings clarity, He brings a strength you didn't even know you had. And most of all, He brings understanding. You begin to see people for who they truly were. You notice that some were never loyal to you. They were only loyal to what you offered. Some were drawn to your light but had no intention of protecting it. And when life got real, they vanished. It's okay to grieve that. It's okay to feel sad about friendships that faded, relationships that failed, family that didn't show up. But don't let that sadness turn into bitterness. Let it open your eyes. Because every ending is preparing you for something new. God's not trying to harm you, He's freeing you. There's a woman reading this who's been questioning everything lately. You've been feeling invisible, like life keeps moving forward for others but not for you. Like people you once carried in your heart have now forgotten you. But this isn't punishment, it's pruning so something better can grow. And that growth needs room. You can't bring old thinking into a fresh season. You can't drag dead weight into a divine assignment. You can't hear God's whispers when you're surrounded by voices filled with fear, doubt, or manipulation. That's why He's doing the separating, because your purpose is precious. Your assignment is too valuable to be poisoned by people who don't respect it. You have places to be, things to create, healing to finish, and God won't let anyone or anything block what He has planned for you. So stop chasing people who walked away from something they never truly respected. Don't pour into what no longer grows. I'll beg anyone to stay who can't see your worth. Let them go, not with hate, but with peace. Because when people walk out, God's plan doesn't slow down, it speeds up. This season is about getting in sync. It's about cutting what's not needed. It's about realizing that even if everyone else walks away, you and God are still a powerful team. And with Him, you're never lacking, not love, not strength, not purpose, not protection. So let them go. Let it break apart if it needs to. Because what looks like a breakdown might just be a breakthrough in disguise. And now that the wrong people are gone, just watch what God does next. There is something deeply holy about a woman who has walked through fire but still stands tall. Not because it didn't hurt, not because she didn't cry, but because in the flames she found her strength. In the chaos, she made a decision. This will not break me. And that kind of woman, she carries a different kind of power. A strength that can't be shaken. Because once you survive what tried to take you out, you don't live in fear anymore. You walk in spiritual power. Pain has a way of sharpening your vision. Suffering removes the distractions, the pride, the fake things. And when you come out the other side, especially if you endured it quietly, you're left with something rare, pure, unshakable. You stop questioning your worth. You stop making yourself smaller for others' comfort. You walk with a soft but firm confidence, not just because of who you are, but because of what you've survived and who walked with you through it. That's the kind of strength that only pressure can make. That's the kind of blessing that's shaped in the fire. You didn't just survive, you changed. And now God is about to lift you higher, not just to say I made it, but so you can carry that strength and pour it into others. People don't follow titles. They listen to stories. And your story is about to break chains, bring healing, and spark hope where people thought it was gone. You're walking into a season where the strength you built in private is about to shine in public. And it all started in the waiting. What was once hidden is now about to be seen. The same woman who cried herself to sleep is about to become the one others turn to when they feel like giving up. The same woman who held everything together while her life was falling apart is about to help someone else rebuild their own life. God didn't let you go through all that pain for nothing. Every tear had a reason, and now that reason has turned into strength. You don't walk into rooms wondering if you belong anymore. You know you do. You've gone through too much to let doubt speak louder than your purpose. You've cried too many tears to waste time on meaningless talk or shallow living. There's a new weight on you now, not a burden, but a glory. You carry proof. You carry the oil that only comes from being pressed. People may not know your full story, but they'll feel the power of your presence. This new season of favor in your life, it's not about what you own. It's not about being noticed. It's about impact. It's about walking into places with understanding and a kind heart. It's about quietly praying for people who never knew you noticed them. It's about loving without limits and leading without pride. When you've suffered in silence, you gain a deep sensitivity that can't be faked. You recognize pain not because you read about it, but because you've lived through it. You don't just speak kind words, you give life. You bring light to dark places, and most of the time, you don't even realize it. That's what true favor looks like. It's not loud, it's not always visible, but it's real. Everything that was shaped in the dark, the faith, the strength, the wisdom, it's about to be seen. Not for applause, but for purpose. Not for popularity, but for freedom. And the best part, you don't need anyone's approval anymore. You're not waiting for others to cheer for you. You're following God's approval, and that changes everything. That's the power you carry now. You walk with a sense of purpose that says, I've been through too much to play small. You don't chase things that aren't meant for you. You don't beg people to stay. You don't compare yourself. You're not in a hurry. Deep down you know what's yours is coming. And it's coming quickly. Your life has rhythm now, a divine flow. You're not the same woman who began this journey. You're wiser, stronger, softer where you need to be, sharper where it counts. You're fully awake now. And when a woman wakes up to her true self, when she understands that her pain didn't destroy her but built her, the enemy gets nervous. He knows the old tricks won't work anymore. Fear can't stop you. Delay doesn't scare you. Rejection no longer shapes how you see yourself. You've seen what God can do with broken pieces. You've seen Him take your pain and turn it into purpose. And the next time someone asks how you made it, you won't need to say much. Just a smile, just a glow, just a peaceful confidence that says, God did this. You're not just walking in strength now, you're walking in favor. And that favor isn't based on what you own. It comes from who you've become. When God chooses to bless a woman who suffered silently, He doesn't just give back what she lost. He gives her something that makes the loss meaningful. God doesn't just restore what was taken. He redeems it. That means He doesn't simply fix what was broken. He upgrades it. He multiplies it. He wraps it in peace, in wisdom, in things no person, job, or applause could ever give you. That's why the blessing feels so different after the pain. Because it's not just about the blessing, it's about who you became while you waited. When you've suffered in silence, people don't know the full story. They see your smile, but they didn't see the nights you cried just to make it to the next day. They see your progress, but they don't know how close you were to giving up. That quiet kind of suffering, the kind you carry behind the scenes with tired hands and a brave face, it creates something sacred. It builds capacity. And when your capacity grows, the blessing grows with it. Not every woman is ready for what she prays for, but the one who has held herself together with nothing but faith and strength, she is. God can trust that woman with more peace, more influence, more love, more vision, not because she demanded it, but because she was prepared for it. There are no shortcuts to this kind of favor, no quick paths to this kind of blessing. You've got to go through the hard times. You've got to cry through the confusion. You've got to learn to praise while you're still hurting. But when you do, when you truly do, something changes. You stop chasing blessings and they start finding you. Your spirit is aligned now. Your heart is open. You're not just hoping for things. You're ready to carry them. You're ready to honor them. You're not just waiting for a miracle. You've become one. This is the time when everything starts to make sense. Not all at once, but slowly, piece by piece, things start to come together. The pain begins to show its purpose. You realize you weren't being punished. You were being prepared. God wasn't ignoring you. He was investing in you, teaching you to lean on Him when everything else fell apart. Now, silence doesn't scare you. Disappointment doesn't crush you. Pressure doesn't break you, because pressure is what made you strong. The blessing that's coming won't look how you thought it would. It will be better. It will bring peace you never imagined. It will heal places you thought were too far gone. And it will show, not just to others, but to you, that God saw every tear, heard every prayer, counted every lonely night, and never forgot about you. A woman who suffers in silence often becomes the one everyone else leans on. And even though that can feel heavy, it's a sign of the strength God placed in you. Others may see your strength, but God sees your sacrifice. And now He's about to reward you, not just with what you ask for, but with overflow. Blessings that touch places you didn't even know needed healing. Opportunities that come to you. Relationships that restore your heart. Joy that doesn't need a reason. Peace that doesn't ask for permission. And don't be surprised when it happens fast. Don't be shocked when doors open without you even knocking. Sometimes God doesn't just bless you, He announces you. He makes a statement with your life. He puts you in the spotlight, not for your fame, but for His glory, so that everyone who saw you suffer